I read that the feds leaked your identity as the whistleblower initially to trans activists who began, like, I would assume, defaming you and threatening you online. Is that true?
Yeah, we have a very, very high degree of suspicion that that is the case. And the reason is because they showed up to my home on June 23rd, 2023. It was about a week later that I started getting reviews on these doctor websites, WebMD, Vitals.com, Google, that were accusing me of crimes like mutilating patients, sexual abuse, all this crazy stuff. And it makes no sense because, I was a chief resident at the time, right? I had like a higher level of authority where like it was my juniors who were like talking to the patients. I mostly did the surgeries, right? Yeah. Like I had patient contact, but it was the language they were using in these reviews that were very suspicious. The reason they were suspicious is because I was the anonymous source also in a story that was released by Christopher Rufo on June 21st, completely separate from the whistleblowing story a month before. And he just wanted some of my perspectives on the transgender thing because we had talked and he thought my perspective was pretty interesting. And the story blew up. Like it got like 10 million views. It was like Elon Musk tweeted about it, J.K. Rowling, and I was just anonymous in it. But they had used the same exact language from that article in these reviews. So I was very suspicious that that's what was happening. So what we did is we hired a bunch of Navy SEALs, ex-Navy SEALs, who were like tech guys. And we subpoenaed WebMD and we got the IP address. It was all the same IP address, every single one over the course of, yeah. So, and then we got these Navy SEAL guys to localize it to one specific address, which we're currently working on delineating further. But there are certain roadblocks in the way that might indicate it's coming from a certain building that has special security.
Huh. Interesting, because when you were telling me the story, I was immediately thinking like, oh, this was all an inside job. These reviews came from the inside, so I can't wait for you to blow that up. But so then tell me, we're going to take a break and then I want to come back and talk about this other story. But before we do that, tell me, were there any other aggressive tactics like that were committed by the FBI or by the DOJ, whomever it is that has this special security that is deciding to harass you and try to ruin your career? Did you see any other aggressive tactics like that being waged against you?
Yeah, well, I would say the most aggressive tactic is charging me with 4 federal felonies and trying to put me in prison for 10 years for charges that are as disconnected from reality as the interventions they're trying to cover up.
Yeah. No, I mean, you're absolutely right. I mean, everything was redacted, correct? Everything was redacted.
Yeah. And it's when you look at this, I can't get too much into the specifics, but when you look at it, it's when I first heard the indictment, right? There was a certain degree, it's like fear. You feel a huge amount of fear, but then there was vindication because it's clear that these charges are completely separated from reality. Like the disconnect between the truth and what these charges are is so vast and profound that it's like we've been saying it's a political prosecution all along, really, because that's what they told us. But the charges just support that. I mean, they're totally insane. They make no sense.
If you like this clip and you want to see the full episode, click here. And if you want to subscribe to the channel, come on, you know you do. Click here.